Hello, welcome back. I'm going to be covering forms in this video, so um, this is going to come in handy if you're creating basically anything, like if you're trying to make forms on a web page for someone to fill out, or if you're creating, let's say, a login form for a website. You're going to need to know this, so follow me to w3schools.com and then down in the HTML, go down to HTML forms and click on HTML forms, and let's just follow this exercise here. So I'm going to be creating it under this header here, or iframe, under the iframe. Save that, and let's see what it looks like so far. That's where it is right now. Now we add in the elements for it. Let's delete that. Then we go label for fname. That's going to be first name. Then label br for page break. So it's going to put a space between this label and this input. Input type equals text, and ID equals fname for first name. Name equals fname. And then br, page break, label, or lname, last name, last name, and label, and then page break. Input type equals text, ID equals lname, last name, name equals lname. And the form, save that. And now we have two input fields here. First name, last name. Yeah. So later, here, let me actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be changing or styling the label, because you can't really see it. It's black right now. I'm going to make the letters white at least for them to be visible in the black background right there. So label, go down to our styles.css. Label. And then let's do color, white, and let's do like a font size 16 pixels. Save that. There we go. Now it's visible. So go back to our default.html. And let's continue here. So there we have what we just created. Now we're going over radio buttons here. So we're going to be creating a form with radio buttons. I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to go down below this form, create a new one, the exercise here. Input type equals radio, ID equals HTML, name equals favorite language. Value equals HTML. And label for equals HTML. And HTML right there. And the label, and then page break right there. Enter. Input type. So here's the radio button equals radio. ID equals CSS. Name equals fav language. Value equals CSS. The label for equals, and then CSS. CSS again, and then close off the label. And then page break. And now input type, another radio button. Type ID equals JavaScript. Name equals fav language. Value equals JavaScript. Now label for equals JavaScript. JavaScript. And label. And then end form. Control save. And now we can see our form right there with the radio buttons. Oh. Okay, so now that we have this set up, let's add some routing to it. Oh, hold on. We also need to do check boxes here. So let's cover that real quick. Gonna go down below my last one here. Form, input type equals checkbox, ID equals vehicle 1, name equals vehicle 1, bike, so value equals bike. And then next one, the label for the vehicle 1. I have a bike, and then label and label, page break. Now it's input type and label for each of these. I'm gonna do a little shortcut and just copy and paste this 2 more times and just change the value right there. So instead of I have a bike right there, I have a car. And then over here, change that 1 to 2 and change vehicle 1 to vehicle 2 right there. And change this bike value to car. And then down here we do I have a boat. Change that to 3. Change this to boat. Change that to 3. And there we have it. So let's see, close off. No, let's close off the form. Save that. And going down here, we can see I have a car, I have a bike, and I have a boat. Let me actually put a space, a page break between JavaScript and I have a bike. I want those two merged together right there. Oh, I see. We need to close off this form. That's why they're merging. So let's close that one off as well. Save. There we go. It's another separate. Checkboxes, radio buttons, and entry fields so far. So now the submit button. So let's go back up to our first name, last name. And then enter after the last input right there. So we had input type and then last name. Name is last name. So right up here real quick, after name equals first name, space, and then we're going to do value, and it has to equal whatever value we assign right here for it to work. So doing John for that. Save that. Last name, value equals dough. And I'm putting a page break right there. Enter. And input type equals submit value equals submit. Save that, and now we go back here, refresh, and we have a submit button. So here it goes over the name attribute for this. So label 4, fname, first name, and label and br, and input type, text. Oh, typo right there. Type there. Then text, ID fname, value. The value is down here. So ID fname, first name. Then value is gonna be equals John. And then type submit, value equals submit. So it's saying that this is not going to submit the value of the first name info field if we do it this way. So it's showing you like what would happen if we don't include a certain attribute. So if we don't include the name field, then it's not going to submit. HTML exercises. Okay. Next. Now the action that the page needs to take once it's submitted. So basically we send it to a form, and the form will like verify that the information is correct, that it matches what it has on file. So let's create that route right now. So on the form for first name and last name, space action equals action underscore page dot php. Control save that. And now this is the attribute that you use to specify or to display the response after we click on the submit button. So if we want to display it in the current window, we do self. If we want to display it in the parent frame, we do parent. If we want to display it in the full body of the window, we do top. Displaying it in the named iframe, we would do frame name. Or if we want to do it in the new window or tab, we do blank. So here they use blank. It's right here under or after PHP, space, and then target equals whichever one of these you want to try out. We're going to do blank for this exercise. Save. Now refresh, submit, and it's in the new window and it's blank. There. Action page.php. So target equals blank. Okay, so now we're going to go into the get attribute or the method attribute. So the method attribute allows you to send it as a URL variable, the information that you put into the form when you click on submit. So if we do method, go up to target, delete target, blank, and we do method equals get, save that, submit it. So we don't have anything catching that submission yet. We have the action, then forward to action page.php, but so far in the exercise we haven't created action page.php. So I'm going to create it real quick. We might get to it later in this exercise here, but I'm going to create it right now. So just going to file save that as action page.php. Save that. Oh, whoops, I accidentally closed the window. Okay, I'm pretty sure I closed another one here. Let's see. Recent, reopen closed file. There's the Arduino, and then recent, open recent, reopen closed file. Element.html. Ah, there it is. Okay, default.html. So going back here, just created that page. It has nothing on it though, so it's not gonna do anything. But I just wanted to create it ahead of time before we get to that. Let's see, first name there. So now post is another method that you can use here. Undercase, everything undercase. Save. And there's nothing catching it on the other side. Now if you wanted to have autocomplete, this is how it would look like in your form. So you do action page, so same thing there, but autocomplete equals on. So let's do that right there. Autocomplete equals on. Control save, and now refresh. So it goes off of the browser memory. It will autocomplete the browser just like any website that you visit. They usually have autocomplete on. So it will pre-fill the form for you if you have entered information on it before. Alright, so now the no validate attribute. So it specifies the data that shouldn't be validated when you submit it. So let's go no validate, control save, and then refresh. And yeah, I mean, you can't really see any of these examples at work unless we create that action page first. And then here are all the attributes that you can use. So that's a good list. HTML form elements. That's a list of all the elements that you can use. Input element, label element, the select element, or drop down list. Okay, so the option element for option can be selected. Select the attribute for a pre-selected option. Visible values, so size, attribute specified number of visible values. Allow multiple selections, you do this. So size 4 and then multiple. Okay. So if you want it to be like to allow validation for more than one answer, then you just specify it this way in list form. And this is going to be for text multi-line input field, the text area. So text area, the cat was playing in the garden. And then you see that text area right there. It's kind of like a comment box, isn't it? So good for like forms where you're, I guess, allowing people to comment on something, or if you need like a large space to write, that's a good method to use. I'm gonna add that into mine right now so we can see what it looks like here on this web page. Text area name equals message rows equals 10 columns equals 30 and let's say I don't know, something to do with web development. Text area closed right there. Control save. Now refresh. And there we have a text area that we can input on. Yeah, we could delete that. Write anything we want. Or if you don't want it to have any like pre-recorded messages in it, want it to be a blank text area. There you have a blank text area. So writing anything at all. Okay, and this is how you create a button. We already went over how to create buttons. Um, Actually, we created buttons out of list items and other things. So if you want a button, then you just do button type equals button on click equals alert. Hi. And click me. Oh, hold on. Click me. And the button, save that. Refresh. Oh, okay. We didn't close off the text area, so let's do that right now so it doesn't blend with the other thing. Save that. Okay, so there you have the button. There's the text area. So this is how you use certain elements to group data into a form, and how you define a caption for the field set element. Field set, personalia, legend, and then all this fun stuff, and the field set. And this is what it would look like. So personalia, the data, and submit. So let's say you're making like a login form, like a login into a website. Instead of personalia, you would have like login here. So whatever you want, it actually organizes it into a box there, so you can more visibly see it on your web page. Let's go ahead and do that right now. We'll go field set, and then legend, input. I don't know, just do login here. Then you end legend, and you end the field set down here. Save that. And now we have it more visible right there with another label here. Now field set is invisible because the letters are black and the background is kind of dark right here. So we can fix that in our styles.css by adding the style to it. Field set, color white, font size 20 pixels. There, much better. Yeah, there we go. Data list. So listing predefined options for an input element. Data list. You want to see a drop-down list of options as you input the data, and you will get something like this in the code. Output element represents result of a calculation. We have some elements right there, list of elements. Next. A list of input types right there. So if we want to do password, we have that type right here. So let's change that right now. Let's see, oh, default. And instead of last name, we do password. And for type, input type, instead of text, we add in password. ID, change that to password. Name. Change that to password. Value equals John. Oh wait, no, wrong one. Actually, scratch that. We actually need to put it down here. So that's for the first one. That's fine. But down here, we need to change it to password. So type password. 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 And then for the value, so whatever we're assigning as a value. So let's do password 123. Save that. Refresh. Okay, so now you see that you can't really see what's inputted in this field for the password. Okay, so input type equals text or single line text input fields. So this is what it would look like if you did it this way. First name, last name. And then input type password. So we already did that. Input type submit. And it defines a button for submitting form data. So we already have that set up right there. If you want to add a reset button, this is how you would do it. And it resets it. So that's what it would look like on the submission page when we set it up. Input type radio. So we already have the radio buttons here. Type checkbox, we already have the checkbox. The button, we already did that. Input type color. So you add this in for fields that need to have a color in them. Yeah, let's do this one here. Just to see what it looks like there. Form, label, 4 equals favorite color. Favorite color. Select your favorite color, and then end label. Input type equals color. ID equals fav color. Name equals fav color. And the form, save that. And now here you can select your favorite color. So I see this being applicable for like a program where you are doing something related to like graphical design, or if you're like, if you have like a website that provides gradients like the ones that we use, then this will also come in handy. Input type date. So let's see what that one looks like here. Let's go underneath the form that we created for color. Make a new form. And then label 4 equals birthday, and birthday, label, input type equals date, ID equals birthday, name equals birthday, and the form, save that. And here you choose your birthday. So if you want to do like, not birthday, but date, and let's say you're creating like a form for the DMV or something, where someone's scheduling to like make an appointment with you. So they're scheduling an appointment on your website or something. Then this would come in handy. It already includes the calendar right there that they can use to choose the date. So refresh that, and you have date, and then they choose it, and it's pre-filled once they select the date here. Okay, so minimum and maximum attributes will basically limit whatever the dates are that they put in. So someone can't do like 1880 for the year, and just something ridiculous. Input type, datetime local. So if you want to do like something along the lines of including the time zone, and this is how you would do it. Let's create that right now. And there you have it. So, including the time zone and the calendar dropdown or pop-up. I think that would be much more handy than just the date. You can add in the date and the time. Change that. Just doing date and time, that one. And then daytime local, date and time. Date and time. More practical that way. Input type email. So something that should contain an email address. So let's go back up here. Instead of first name right there, we could change that to email. So that's what most of the login pages require, is an email, and then the last thing is a password. So let's do email. And input type email. ID is email. Name email. Save that. Oh, and we'll change that to email as well. Email. And let's see, we set that to value equals John. So let's do like John Doe at email.com. Okay, input type image. So if you're creating something like, let's say, submit your profile picture kind of thing, or add in a profile picture, you would do it this way. Or like submit your driver's license or whatever. If you're creating like a form that you would like your users to submit pictures through, maybe it's something else. Either way, let's create that right now. Let's go down to form, input type. So I hope that you have input type memorized by the end of this, because we're using that for everything. We're just changing the label here. So after type, we're just changing it to image, or we're changing it to email, or we're changing it to text, or we're changing it to message, or button, or checkbox. So same layout, different labels for everything, depending on what you're using. Submit.gif alt equals submit width equals 48, height equals 48, and the form let's see, there's something about this. Oh, the text area up here isn't. Well, no, that is closed off there. We ended that button. Oh, hold on. Did I add that bracket in? That's why it's yelling at me. Okay, so refresh, and now down here, we have that for the input type. Oh, so it's actually, okay, I thought it was for something else. Okay, so this is actually for like an image if you wanted to add an image as a submit button. So this is actually a submit button, and then the source is going to be the image that you want to add as the submit button. So let me see, let's add in this one. And actually, I have it up here. So if I just grab the source for that, it's in the table. There it is. Just grab the source for the image. Then replace this with the source. Paste there. Save that. Refresh. And now we have a little submit button as my profile pic on YouTube there. Yeah. So now this one is for file uploads. So this will access your file explorer once you click on it, and you can select the file to upload. Let's do that right now. Go form, label for equals my file, select a file, and input type equals file, ID equals my file, name equals my file, and we can end the form right here. Save that. Refresh right there, and now we have the option to choose a file here from our file explorer. Okay, so now, like if you want to do a hidden input file or input field, this is how you would accomplish that. So in the type, you will do hidden. Month and a year. So do a month and a year separately, instead of having it like month, year, and date. Label for equals month, month, and label, and then input type equals month, ID equals day, or just do month for that as well. And the form, and we have month and year right there. Okay. For a number, so this is getting repetitive. It's basically just changing the type right there to something else. So I'm just going to copy and paste the last entry that we made. And here we change this to quantity. Change that to quantity. Change this to number. ID to quantity. And then set a minimum to 1. A maximum value to 5. And the form, actually, yeah, it's already ended. Save that. I have the selector that goes up to 5. Input restrictions. So these are restrictions you can set. Just a list of restrictions that you can use. Range, input type search. So if you want to include a search field in your website, most websites have a search field. I think this is a handy function to learn here. So we go form, then label for gsearch. Hey, I'm back. Ran out of space on the hard drive, so I had to move some videos. So back to this. I think we left off on the search bar here, so let's continue this. So label for search, and then basically just do as the example says right there. Name equals gsearch. And then end the form, save. And Google search is right there, so google.com. So it's just going to behave like a regular text field right now, since there's no backend code behind it, no routing. Let's see. Just double check here. Content. Okay, yeah. So now the next one is for TEL, for telephone number. And we accomplish that with form, label, for equals phone. Enter your phone number. And label input type equals TL, ID equals phone, name equals phone, pattern equals zero to 9, then these brackets 3 dash 0 to 9, those brackets for 2 dash 0 to 9, brackets for 3, form. Save that. And now you have option to enter your phone number. The time. So we'll go form, label, for equals appointment, select a time. It's good if you're creating something where someone needs to set up an appointment. Input type equals time. So basically, what most businesses have on their websites. Well, okay, I lied. Most businesses don't have this on their website. And that's because instead of this kind of format where it's easily accessible to set an appointment on the website, they have people call in instead. But this would simplify the process if everyone had an appointment form on their website. And I've seen a few with this where it shows like which dates are taken up already and which ones you can pick from. So comes in really handy. Definitely replaces a role that would otherwise be taken up in your company. Like if you have like a scheduler, this would take up the scheduler's role in your company, I guess. Let's see, I think we forgot to close off this. No, wait, no. Let's double check. Label and label, input and text area. Oh, okay. Let's move this over to the bottom here. No, wait, no, that's not right. Never mind. Input. We have a text area? Did we have an open text area up here somewhere? Text area, name, message, blah blah blah, and text area right there. Oh, okay, so we just had an extra text area thing there for some reason. Okay, so form, input, phone number, select time. There you have the format that it comes with. Alright, URL. So if you want to add a URL to your page, label for equals homepage. And then I'm going to try my YouTube channel again here. So right there. Let's see, where did I have that? It was up here somewhere. There it is. Copy that. So add your homepage and label and input type equals URL, ID equals homepage, name equals homepage, and form, save that, add your homepage, there it is. Okay. Input type the week, you want to have them select the week and the year, specifically just a week and a year, so form, label for equals week, select a week, label and label, and input type equals week, ID equals week, name equals week, and the form, save that, and there you go. That's what it looks like. So comes in really handy because it automatically chooses the week for you instead of having you try to figure that out. You can just select any of these and it will set apart the entire week. So hey, I want to take a vacation at this time, like I want to take a vacation this time, let's set that up on the side or whatever. Okay, next. HTML exercises. Okay, so next lesson here, attributes. The attributes. So input value attribute specifies an initial value for an input field. So label for fname, first name, type, text, blah blah blah, and then value. So here are the values that they're talking about. The read-only attribute specifies that an input field is read-only. So if we do read-only on first name up here, or did we change that? I think we changed it to like email, didn't we? Let's see. Email, yeah, we changed it to email. So then after value, do read only. I think I'm losing my voice here. Read only, and then refresh. Now going back to this, it doesn't let me edit it, so it's read only now. Okay, I'm gonna take that off. So that's what read only does. Pretty straightforward. Disable attribute. So specify something that should be disabled, like a field, an input field here. So disabled will make it look like this. Let's see. Going to value, then disabled. And now it's disabled. You can't do anything with it. Save that, let's refresh. Okay, size attribute. So it's going over the default and how you can change the size. So if we want to make the field bigger, we just put do size and then equals and the number. So let's say size equals 5, save. And it just made it 5. Size equals 15, save. Now it's at 15. Let's do 20 for that. Save. And now it's back to normal. Max length attribute. So if you want it to be a certain length for the input field, so if you want to limit the amount of characters that someone puts in, you can do this. Minimum and max attributes. Set the ranges. So ranges for dates are shown right here. So date max, max, and then that year to minimum is this year, this date, year, month, and date. And you could also do it for quantity. So minimum 1, maximum 5. Multiple attribute if you are allowed, like allowing the user to enter more than one thing in a field. So input file, file, ID files, name, file, multiple. So let's do that right under here to see what it looks like here. All the way at the bottom to the end of that form. Create a new one. Form. Label for equals files. Select files and label input type equals file ID equals files name equals files multiple and the form. Save that. Now let's see what that looks like. Oh, okay. So select files, Okay, and you can have multiple files there that you select. So this wants to select a single file. This wants to select multiple files at the same time. Alright, the pattern attribute. So what pattern you want to set, or what pattern you want to limit the input for. So it shows you how to do this. Pattern A to Z, title, 3-letter country code, ID country code, type text. I'm not gonna create that one. Placeholder attribute specifies a short hint. Okay, so that one I've seen on most websites, and let me show you what it looks like here. It's like a grayed out, pre-filled example text on the fields. Label for equals phone, enter a phone number, and label input type equals TL, ID equals phone, name equals phone, placeholder equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 7, 8, 9, 0. So that's what a phone number usually is in length. I mean, pattern equals 0 to 9, 3, 0 to 9, 2, 0 to 9, 3, and then you end the form right there. Save. Actually, I think those are 4 different ones up there, so let's end it right here. Form, save. Now let's see what that looks like. There it is. Required attribute. So, like for your username or password. Let's do that right now. Form, label, for equals username, username, and label, input type equals text, ID equals username, name equals username, required And the form right there, save that, fresh. So normally, once you have the routing set up for this, it should, if you like don't enter anything, it should tell you that it's required. And look, the difference between this one and that one. This one says, please fill out this field when you hover over it. This one does not. So, step attribute. So, legal number intervals for an input. Okay, so I'm not going to do that one. Autofocus. So this one I'm not 100% sure about, because it says that it should automatically focus when the page loads. But I thought, doesn't it already do that though? See? So yeah, I don't understand. Maybe that's like a thing, like an issue. If you make it too complex and there's too much going on and you want one thing to focus first, so you set that up for the input fields. Height and width attributes. So that's how you set the width and the height of your fields. And the list attribute, if you want a data list, predefine input. Okay. So input list, browsers, data list, browsers, option value equals Edge, Firefox, all these. So if you want to add like a data list to your form, let's see what that looks like on here, on the bottom there. Form, input list equals browsers, data list ID equals browsers, option value equals Edge, and I'm just going to copy and paste the option since it's the same for all these fields, and we're going to change the value for each one. Paste. Control V to paste. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it at Edge. I'm not like, I mean, okay, I could do it for the exercise, do like Firefox, and then Chrome. Opera. Make sure you capitalize the beginning letter there. Safari. And now end data list. And close off the form. Save that. So that gives you a few options to choose from. Now that comes in handy if you want it to be more, I guess, easier for whoever you're making this to be able to select a certain option. You could have all your selections in a list right there. Autocomplete attribute. I think we already went over autocomplete. So there you can see how it would be on right there. And an email, you could have it off. So you could set it up to differentiate. So I think up there it just showed us how to add it on. But here it shows you how to have it on in a certain area and how to have it off in the other area of the input fields. Okay. Now HTML input form attributes. Okay, so it has to specifies which element it belongs to. So must be equal to the ID attribute of the form element it belongs to. Okay, so let's do this one right here. Form action equals dash action underscore page dot php. ID equals form 1 label form equals fname first name and label input type equals text. ID equals fname name equals fname, then br, and then again br for page breaks. Input type equals submit, value equals submit, and we end the form right there. And label for name, and then last name and label input type equals text, ID equals lname, name equals lname, form equals form1, Now refresh that, and we can see our submit button right there. First name, submit, and last name. The form action attribute. So I guess it makes it easier for you to specify which URL file is going to process the input when you click on the submit button. Form action right next to the submit button right there. So let's say we want to do it for the last one that we did. We have the submit button right here, value submit, but in the middle we can add form action equals action page 2.php. So where this comes in handy is if you have a different action page that you want to submit it to. So right here we have these items being submitted to action page.php. And this one being submitted to action page 2.php. So value submit as admin. Sorry, it actually, my bad. It actually overwrites the first one. So instead of it being that first one, it would submit to page 2 because we have that form action right there. Form and type attribute. So how to encode the form data once it's submitted. So let's see, it's being used right here. Form and type multipart form data, and a value equals submit as multipart form data. So let's see, first sends the form data with default encoding. The second sends the form data encoded as multipart form data. Okay, so let's see, where's the first one? Action page binary.asp. At the post, and then down here multipart form data. Let's create that one down here. Actually, let's see, we have form, we have and form, okay. Set last name. Alright, let's create a new form. Action equals action underscore page underscore binary dot asp method equals post label for equals fname first name first name and label input type equals text and ID equals fname name equals fname, then page breaks. Okay, input type equals submit, value equals submit, input type equals submit, form type equals multipart form data, value equals submit as multipart, actually submit as multipart slash form data, and form and now let's see what that looks like right here. Okay, there it is. So first name or last name and then first name, and you can submit it regularly or you can submit it as multipart form data. The form method attribute. So to define the method for sending the data over to the URL that we send the information to, so your form method is used as post. Submit using post. Yeah. And here it goes to tell you that post is more robust and secure than get, and it doesn't have any size limitations. So post is the way to go. Let's apply that to one of these here. We have submit, multipart, submit, and then regular submit. Let's add in an extra button there. So input type equals submit form method equals post, value equals submit using post, and now we need to do method get in the form action. Method post is set up right here, so instead let's use method get up there. Save that. And also we need to do this, submit using get on the top right there. So let's see, form method enter input type equals submit. We're gonna have like 4 submit buttons for this one because we're building on the previous one. So submit, then value equals submit using get. So there you go. These are all 4 of the buttons that we created so far, and they all submit using a different method. So let's continue here. The form target attribute specifies a name or a keyword that indicates where to display the response that is received after submitting the form. So it overrides, so it does what the previous one that we covered does. It overrides the form element. So you can see it being used right here. Form target blank, submit to a new window dash tab. So we're just going to keep adding buttons to this to get all these buttons taken care of. Get get all the types of buttons, collect buttons, submit form target equals underscore blank, value equals submit to a new window. These buttons are my gym badges there. Okay, and save. Look at all my gym badges. Submit to a new window tab. Okay. The form no validates attribute. So it, I think it does the same as the no validate attribute that we covered earlier. Maybe it's a little different. Maybe it just works with this input type and not the like first name and last name. And there's the no validate attribute again. Oh, okay. So no validate. Okay, that's the difference then. They added it for that reason. So this specifies that none of the form data should be validated when submitted. And this one specifies that a certain input element shouldn't be validated when submitted. And there you have the form and input element for HTML. Form and input. Alright, well that will do it for forms for today. And I'll catch you in the next video.